Welcome to the Classroom Chronicles, a deep dive into the world of teaching series hosted by me, Eunice Lizube, brought to you by DBE-E3. Imagine a world in which all young people leave their school lives prepared to be solution-seeking active participants in the world after school. Teachers know this world is already achievable, and bringing high-quality project-based learning and nurturing learning environments to every learner everywhere is important. Joining me in conversation is Principal Mvanana from Mpumalanga to share her insights and her thoughts on PBL implementation at a school level. Principal, welcome, and how are you today?
I'm fine, and how are you, ma'am?
I'm very well. Before we talk about PBL experience and adoption, tell me about your school, the history and where it is, the number of learners that you have in your school.
Our school is in Mpumalanga in Embalenhle, Highfield Ridge, East Circuit. Our school is a quintile 2. We have 1,206 learners. Our school was established in 1992.
Thank you. Oh, it has been quite some time. 1992 seems like a long time ago. So take me back to the day you heard about E3, the implementation of PBL. What were your thoughts about the program?
I was anxious, firstly. I didn't know where to start, but because I'm working with the best team, I invited my HODs and the deputy, and we just said we'll give it a go. And my deputy, because he's teaching EMS, has been hands-on. Thank you.
Have you seen any improvements in the teachers' outlook to teaching since the implementation of PBL? I know I've been to your school, and I know the learners are enjoying it. But from the teacher's perspective, what would you say their feeling is towards PBL?
Firstly, they are happy that they are participating on the PBL and using the PBL approach, but they are sometimes skeptical because they think it's giving them or adding more work to their workload. So some of the activities, they feel that they're not kept aligned.
But would you say the school benefited from implementing these projects? Because we saw some of the artifacts that were done in the school.
It has a lot. It has a lot because they're able to relate the topics to the real world, and they're able to sort of speak their minds whenever something happens. For instance, we had an issue with a bullying, and one girl said, I forgive you, but you must never do that again to any other person. And for me was the highlight to say, yes, we have been teaching about bullying and we've been saying it, but once it was incorporated on the PBL, learners are able to take charge and take control. Just one example. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. Yeah, I remember some of the artifacts that I saw, the musical instruments, the posters that I saw, the headbands that the learners came up with as an awareness to regarding bullying. And I think the learners really took charge of this topic, and they actually voiced out what they felt or how they felt about bullying. So it was quite interesting to see when I came to visit your school. What would you say to other principals and SMT members? How do they need to approach PBL with their teachers, learners, and parents?
PBL has to be approached in such a way that it should be a collective agreement and everybody should have a buy-in in that. Because even parents can learn a thing or two, teachers also learn some teaching skills from one another. They also advise one another in how to approach a topic or something. And learners are quite assertive when it comes to the topics, especially when they see that it's more visual and they can bring their ideas to the table.
Okay, just one last question from me. I know a lot of schools are really battling when it comes to parental involvement, and I can hear you've just said that parents, everybody needs to come on board. As Boyani Primary School, how do you onboard parents, and how do you get them involved in their learners' academic work?
At the beginning of the year, what we normally do, especially with the foundation phase, because learners are not experienced with school routine and things that are expected. Within the first 6 weeks, we invite them to school and we make sure that these are the expectations from the school, and we also listen to their concerns What are they worried about? What is it that they would like to see happening in the school? Or if there's anything, it can either be how to assist learners, it can be how learners can be helped in order to get home because some of them are not orientated well enough. What are the school rules that are supposed to be done? What are the class rules that are in class? What happens when a learner is not well? Things like that. So once you tell parents that you invite them to a meeting and then you sort of share your vision, you also share your vision of the school to say, we are starting now in 2023. This is where we want to go for the end of the year. This is how you can assist the school. These are the expectations from the school. And we also make use of diaries to say, if there's anything that you do not understand, you need to go to your learner's diary. Or sometimes parents, if they cannot be found, our diaries have information on the guardian, any other relative that we can find in case of emergency. So parents buy in, and you also have a method that I stand at the gate and I greet learners and I also ask their names and I make comments on their appearance, how they look, how can I help? I can also see their needs. That way the parents feel that they are bringing the learners to a school that cares.
Thank you so much, Principal. Yes, everybody needs to be involved. We all need to hold hands when it comes to raising a child. And I love the fact that you actually take the initiative to just stand at the gate and welcome the learners. And, your contribution obviously plays a huge role in the learners' lives and the parents. And once they see that you are keen on what is happening in your learners' lives, they also decide to step up and do what's right for their learners. Thank you for taking time to just come and give us insight on what is happening in your school. As DBE-E Cubed, we love seeing what your school comes up with every single year, and we love seeing what the learners come up with. So in closing, what would you just like to say to the listeners?
I wish that everybody can view as a learning curve, both for the school and for the community at large, because it helps everybody to first know and to be assertive enough in participating in whatever that you do. So everybody needs to be involved and everybody needs to have a buy-in in the project.
Thank you so much. Thank you to our listeners for taking time to listen to this interview. And it's a wrap. Thank you.